Upside Down by Alexander Kushner. It's a poem about a person called Upside Down who behaves in very absurd, abnormal way. It's a humorous poem, and the Upside Down's humorous actions, unusual actions, brings about humor, laughter to the reader. He does the opposite of what we do. He does the opposite of what we do. Right? Upside down. He is not an ordinary man, but some unusual person. Now let's read the poem. Once there lived an upside down who was the talk of all the town. This poem is mostly written in rhyming couplets. Once there lived an upside down whose talk was all the town, of all the town. Now this upside down is very famous in the town. Everyone speaks about him. Why? This is the reason. If he was told to turn to right, if the upside down is asked to turn to right, he turned to left out of spite. For upside down, right is left, left is right. If you ask him to turn to left or turn to right, he does the opposite. He turned to left out of spite, out of some anger and criticism. This is his unusual nature. Therefore, he brings troubles to other people. When all other people turn to right, upside down turn to left, turns to left. If he was sailing in a boat, no one could make him understand why he seemed to be afloat and what happened to the land. Now, upside down, if he happened to be in a boat, he cannot understand, no one can make him understand why he is afloat, floating on water. Because he has no knowledge about science. He's a dull-headed man. He does not know why boat floats on water and what had happened to the land, why land disappeared when you sail deep into the waters, right? The idea is that upside down is dull-headed, uneducated, foolish person. He read his letters backside for. Upside down reads letters not from this way. He reads letters this way, from right to left, not left to right. And wrote his letters backside for. He writes letters this way. but we write letters this way. Ah, right. Okay. He read letters, we read letters this way. He read letters this way from right to left, but we read left to right. Therefore, so if a ton was to be read, now we read this word as ton, but upside down read it as not. Why? N-O-T, he says, not, but we say T-O-N, ton. That is the difference between upside down and us. The dunderhead, fool, dunderhead. Hmm. Is a fool. All his life, he was afraid of, all his life, he was afraid to cross a bridge. Bridge. Upside down is afraid of bridges. He never walks across bridges. He is afraid of. Therefore, he would always wade. Wade means walk in the water. He jumps into the river and walks across. He never uses the bridges unless the water was too deep or the embankment. Embankment means other end of the river bank. The other river bank was not too steep, not too high. He jumps into the river and walks without using bridges. He went to he went into a restaurant. The waiter said, "What do you want?" He said, "I'd like a pair of socks with clocks on them and in a box." Now, normally we go to restaurant to have breakfast or some drinks. But this upside down goes to restaurant. What for? To have some socks, pair of socks. And these socks must have a clock in a box. This is very absurd, abnormal. Abnormal. The circus came to town one day. Of course, he went without delay. And everyone said upside down was funnier than the circus clown. Now, people say upside down is very funny character. They entertain people. He is much more funnier than the clown. People comment. Just yesterday, the postman brought a letter to him from his aunt. This upside down has an aunt. She's worried about this son, this man. Therefore, she constantly writes letters to this dunderhead, this fool. But you know what does this, do you know what this man does with these letters? Shall I read it? Perhaps I must read it. Perhaps I will read it. Perhaps I can't read it. He does not read these letters. Even if he read, he may not understand the true meaning. Therefore, he keeps these letters under his hat. He eyed it this way. He looked at the letter this way. He eyed it that way. It means looked. Then he stuck it in his hat. Finally, he put the letters under his hat. He never reads his aunt's letters. His auntie wrote, this is aunt's message. Aunt says, dearest boy, my dear boy, all you do is to annoy. You trouble all other people. Annoy means trouble. You trouble all other ordinary people with your absurd behavior, unusual behavior. She gives some example, some another humorous example about this man. This aunt says, you wear flannels when it is hot. Flannels means clothes for cold season. You use flannels, these garments, these dresses or clothes for cold season. Upside down wears flannels when it is hot season, during summer, hot season. He wears clothes for the cold season. Going naked when it is not. When there is winter, cold season, he has no clothes. He goes naked. This is some unusual behavior of this upside down. He is a trouble to all other people, peaceful people. Then finally, aunt says, you must behave. This is very important. Importance of human behavior according to society's etiquettes, rules, and laws. You must behave as others do. You must behave as others do. My dear son, please behave like other people. Behave as an ordinary man. If you behave so, if they are to have respect for you, those people will respect you. You will be a respected man. You will never be a funny man, clown in your society. Now aunt says, good behavior, discipline, manners, they are all much needed for life. If you behave well, if you have good manners, society will respect you. Society will respect you. You will have a good social image. That is what aunt says. But this man does not know about aunt's advice because he never reads aunt's letters. Now, Alexander Kushner gives this important message to us, this theme. What is the theme? Behavior. Human way of behavior in his society is very important. If we behave as society wants, expects, society will respect you. Therefore, behave well wherever you go, according to rules, social rules. If you are to turn to left, turn to left. If you are to turn to right, turn to right. Don't do the opposite. If you do the opposite, society will reject you. Society will reject you. Right? That is the advice given by Alexander Kushner to his reader through this humorous poem. Don't be an upside down. Be a person downside up. Be a downside up. Don't be an upside down. Right? That is the idea of this poem. Okay. We'll write down the comment in our next session.